Hello everybody, I'm Sniping is Fun, and in today's video my plans are to basically I want to give my retrospective, my thoughts looking back on every year the Wii's been through up until now, the end of 2006 to now the end of 2011 when the system launched in 2006, and each individual year games that were released and my thoughts on overall that year and games were released and so on and so forth up until now. And then after all of that, give my hopes, dreams, wishes, and what I want to see in 2012 and what I hope Nintendo does for the Wii in 2012. But I just want to let you guys all know right now, this is a quick little video I wanted to put together. I came up with this idea like, I don't know, a couple days ago or so. I forgot when I came up with it. And last night I just did a very little bit of research. I mean, I didn't do a whole lot. I went on the Wikipedia. I went by each individual year, and I wrote some games down. And even so, some of the years might not be right because I was trying to go by American, release years kind of a thing. And I might be wrong on some of these. And I'm sorry about that, because when you go on the Wikipedia and you go by the years of a certain game list or any list for that matter. And when I go into the games, you go and you see different years. Oh, Europe's this release date, and America's this release date, and Australia's this release date, and Japan's that release date. But it doesn't really always coincide with the year that's actually on the main list page where it's going down in order, kind of thing. So I might be wrong on some of it, but like I said, this is a quick little video put together. I'm not going to put too much effort into it. I'm going to put enough effort to make the a good amount of detail in here, my thoughts on the matter, but not a whole lot of effort, kind of a thing. Because what I really plan on doing is next year at the end of 2012 when the Wii U launches, after we know what the Wii gets in 2012 and everything, I'm going to do this again. Maybe not the exact same way or the exact same thing I plan on doing, but I'm going to do an overview of the end of 2006 to the end of 2012, games that were released, my thoughts, and like a retrospective on the system as a whole throughout its whole entire lifespan, despite the fact we might see stuff after Wii U comes out, because supposedly the Wii is going to be supported while Wii U's out, stuff like that. But overall, that's what my plans are. I'm going to do a quick little thoughts, games that came out, my thoughts on what came out, and give a small little, not final, not finished or last kind of score to each year, because I'm going to pretty much do that next year. Could the scores probably stay the same? Sure. Does that mean they are guaranteed to stay the same? No. I could probably change it when I actually take more time to research games that came out and times they came out and throughout that year to actually maybe do that. Because I'm going to do more research. I'm not going to take so much time with the video next year, but I'm going to take enough time to make it interesting. But I plan on doing this again at the end of 2012, but I'm going to do this for the end of 2011 for my retrospective, like I said. 2006, end of 2006, the launch of the Wii, into 2000 and the end of 2011 now, and what my thoughts and hopes are for 2012. And like I said, I'm gonna do it next year. This is not fully done. I only took about like an hour or so to put the list together last night, and so on and so forth. And I hope you guys like it, and I will tell you guys to look forward to it next year. Next year I will tell you guys to look forward to a lot of Wii games, because my plans are for 2012 to do a lot of Wii games and Wii system video kind of things. And that will pretty much be one of the ones at the end. And like I did with the GameCube tribute video, I do plan on doing the Wii tribute as well. That's going to be some year next year as well. But I've already taken 4 minutes now talking about all that. I want to quickly get on to this, and hopefully it won't be 2 parts. So if it is 2 parts, I'm sorry for that. Let's start with 2006. I didn't have a Wii back in 2006, just to let you guys know that. But from what I heard, the launch of the Wii was actually a pretty good system launch. It had quite a bit of games to it. And it came out in November, sometime in November of 2006. And games that came out on it that were decent, good, worthwhile games in some way, shape, or form. And like I said, I haven't played all these games, but I'm basing it off the ones I've actually played and heard of too, or both. There's Elevits, there was Excite Truck, there was Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 2, of course, Twilight Princess, the first Raving Rabbids game, Metal Slug Anthology, Tony Hawk Downhill Jam, Trauma Center Second Opinion, Wii Sports was of course bundled with the system, and WarioWare Smooth Moves. That's about like 10 games right there. I think that is 10 games. It is 10 games. So, in my opinion here, I'm sorry if I'm missing anything too. Before I get into future years, I'm sorry if I'm missing stuff. Like I said, for a launch lineup right there, let's say for the launch year, which was like around November some odd time, a month before December, before Christmas, where it basically had like 2 years, oh my gosh, I'm getting tired right now, 2 months before the end of 2006, end of 2007, 10 games there, where almost all of them are worthwhile in some way, shape, or form, some more than others, of course. And a lot of variety there too, from fighting games to adventure to racing and whatnot, sports too, crazy minigame collections, whatever. You get a lot of variety there. There's good games, gamers, people who bought that in 2006 at the launch had a worthwhile amount of games there. So yeah, it was pretty good. When we get into 2007 now, that's when the Wii actually had its first full year to actually come out and give games and have a year releases. And we basically seen the likes of Pokemon Battle Revolution, which although some people may hate on that game, it actually is quite a good game. Definitely not as good as Stadium. I like it for the fact that it's similar to Stadium, the Stadium games, although it's definitely nowhere near as good as them. But it's a good game in its own right. There was, for people out there like Dance Dance Revolution, House Party 1 was released that year. There was Battalion Wars 2, which I rented, and it was a pretty sweet game. There's Fire Emblem Radiant Dawn, of course. There was the Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 3, Dragon Quest Swords, which is another game that some people don't like. I rented it before it was cool. Geometry Wars Galaxies, Ghost Squad, which was that game from the arcade, which actually is quite an interesting game, and for me at least I got for $5 like last year, and it's quite fun. So yeah, God Powder Black Hand Edition, Guitar Hero 3, Guilty Gear XX Core, Order of the Phoenix Harry Potter, which I actually think is a good game. Definitely Hallows. Part 1 wasn't really that great. Oh wait, wrong game. No, Order of the Phoenix was pretty good though. Order of the Phoenix I played on PS2 though. I'm mixing that up with Half-Blood Prince on the Wii. But Half-Blood Prince came out like in 2009, so that's we're not at that year yet, but it was actually, I think, a pretty good game. Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix was actually, I played on PS2, but with some Wii controls into it, I think it was actually a pretty good game. Let me get back to this now. Harvest Moon Tree, A Tranquility, rented that game. I'm not the biggest Harvest Moon fan, actually not really a Harvest Moon fan really at all, but that was actually quite a fun game, and I like playing them here and there kind of a thing. Of course, No More Heroes came out that year. There was Apuna, Mario Strikers Charged, SSX Blur, Mercury Meltdown, Revolution, Super Paper Mario, Metroid Prime 3, Resident Evil Umbrella Chronicles, the second Raving Rabbids game, the Resident Evil 4 game, the Zack and Wiki, Tony Hawk's Proving Ground, which I played that game. It's actually okay. It's an improvement over what's that game called? Project 8. I played Project 8 like on the PS2, and it was not that great. This one though was not as good as like the first 5 Tony Hawk games, but it's still pretty fun in its own right. Trauma Team, New Blood, MLB Power Pros. Of course, there was Mario Galaxy in like the end of 2007, and like Tiger Woods PGA Tour 2008, which the Tiger Woods games are good on Nintendo Wii actually. So when it comes to 2007, it's got a good amount of games there. That was about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. About almost 30 games, about 29 games there that were worthwhile. And of course I'm missing stuff, like I said. It was actually quite a good year, actually, and a good start to the Wii in its first official year kind of a thing. When it came to 2008, everyone was anticipating this year because, of course, that's the year Brawl was coming out, and it had a lot of games, to it as well. There was Klonoa, which is a remake of a PlayStation 1 game, and I played it. Good. Lego Batman, and I'm sorry, I know I forgot the Star Wars Complete Collection. It was in there somewhere. I think 2007. Lego Indiana Jones. House of the Dead 2 and 3. Guitar Hero World Tour. Harvest Moon, Magical Melody. Boom Blocks, Blastworks, Bully, Scholarship Edition, Baroque. Animal Crossing City Folk, Call of Duty World at War, Castlevania Judgment, Dokapon Kingdom, House Party 2 DDR, TV Party on Raving Rabbids, Rock Band 2, and the original Rock Band even, Okami, Oni Chandra, the Bikini Zombie Slayers game, MLB Power Pros, 08, Mario Kart Wii of course came out in 2008 as well, Mario Super Sluggers, which I think the GameCube one was a little bit better. Mushroom Men came out. Clash of the Ninja 2, Revolution 2, Naruto, NHL 2K9, which I've played those games, like 2K9, 2K10. They're actually really quite fun hockey games on the Wii. SNK Arcade Classics Volume 1, Star Wars Force Unleashed, which my cousin brought over one time and I tried out. I played that on PS2, of course, but that one, it was pretty fun. Of course, Super Smash Bros. Brawl, like I said. Tales of Symphonia Dawn: A New World, Sega Superstars, Tennis, Samba de Amigo, SimCity Creator, Tenchu Shadow Assassins, Rune Factory Frontier, came out in 2008, I think. Shaun White Snowboarding, I keep mixing that up. Shaun White Snowboarding Road Trip, Wario Land Shake It, and of course Tiger Woods 09. That year was a step up from 2007. And up at that point would have been considered the best year with the Wii since then, because it was about, about over 30 games, good amount of variety, just like 2007 was, a lot of games there, and it was a good improvement over 2007, which was already a pretty good year to begin with, and it had the likes of Smash Brothers Brawl in there. I know people badmouth that game too, but it was a good Smash Brothers game, people. Get over it. That was a good year. Then we went into 2009. This was the year that was to introduce the Wii Motion Plus by the end of the year, which of course was Wii Sports Resort that came out. There was the likes of the House of the Dead Overkill game, the Indiana Jones Staff of the King, Final Fantasy Crystal Bears, Crystal Chronicles of Crystal Bears, Fragile Dreams, the Dragon Ball game of that Revenge of King Piccolo, Excite Bots, Grand Slam Tennis, the Ghostbusters game, which I think was 2009, Guitar Hero, Smash Hits, and 5, which are good games. Boom Blocks Bash Party, Beatles Rock Band. Even though it wasn't the greatest version of the game, Dead Rising, Chop to You Drop came out in 2009. There was Dead Space Extraction, the House Party 3 DDR, DJ Hero made its debut that year. There was Resident Evil Dark Side Chronicles, Punch Out, of course. The Rabbids Go Home game came out in 2009. There was Phantom Brave, which I played the PS2 one, so I really didn't get that one. But for people who never had that game, had the opportunity to pick up the Wii version. There was Metroid Prime Trilogy. There was Mad World, or Master of the Demon Blade. Need for Speed Nitro, NHL 2K10, Spyborgs, Shaun White Snowboarding World Stage, Virtual Tennis 2009, and of course Tiger Woods again. A good year. I thought 2009 was a good year for the Wii. I don't think it was as good as 2008, but it was pretty close, and maybe a small improvement over 2007 in a way. Maybe not a huge improvement, but I'd say about 2008, at that point, at the end of 2009,